let's talk about this thing that's in front of us, which is the Arturia Keystep. Smash that like button. We're gonna get into it.
Traptendo.
So this thing is pretty darn cool. What it is just a MIDI controller, and maybe that's a little bit plain because as you can see, there's a new wave of people getting onto this. Arturia did their thing with the Keystep, which I was quite peculiar about that at first, but you know, I saw too many videos on which, you know, people were using this as a sequencer, because it has a built-in sequencer and a built-in arpeggiator, and also it has a built-in chord player, so you can actually play keys like chords on one button, which I thought that was really cool, by the way. And yeah, it has a lot of good features about it, but this video will be about the whole functionality of this, or at least a quick walkthrough just to get started, since Arturia did not do a good job of making one themselves. Sorry, Arturia, had to call you out. But anyways, first let's navigate to this screen right here, because this is an important screen. What you will see, the link will be in the description box. As such will be the Arturia website, which they provide firmware. You must update the firmware if you're getting this, regardless. You got to, because otherwise I found there was an issue with FL Studio where FL Studio wouldn't even recognize it without me syncing it to what's in front of us right now, which is the MIDI control center. Again, you have the sidebar right here, and the sidebar is in alphabetical order here. So, you know, you have the Keystep in the K's, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that stuff. You gotta download this. Make sure that you download it for either Windows or Mac OS. So, you know, for your whatever PC or laptop that you have, make sure you download the appropriate one for your operating system. From there, you just install that software. It will save your life here, and it's very important for this firmware update. From there, you go to Keystep. struggle life. So yeah, and download the newest update. You don't have to download previous updates and then update it to the most recent update. Thank God. From there, you download it. Just download the file. As you can see from right around here. I already did it. And then, you know, I already have the software installed. So we're gonna go and pull that software up. As you can see from that point, make sure obviously you do have to have the Keystep plugged up to the computer for it to be recognized, and it will come up like this. From there, you go to device, firmware upgrade, select upgrade, and select that file. Once you select that file, it's going to pull you into another screen where it's going to probably ask you to plug it up or unplug it so that it can read it. And from there, you know, just follow the directions and then you should be in there. It might take more than one time for you to do so. God, I have no clue why it's like that. You know, my system, I'm on Windows 10. I have a i7 4710HQ processor, and you know, it was just acting a little weird. And I think I had in my bus speed is like 3 it's 3 gigahertz. So yeah, so you might have some issues there, but just keep on trying. You know, persistence is the key. You know, sometimes hardware does not work off top correctly from the giddy up. So now we have that, and we talked about that. Let's talk about some of the things about this that are important. The build of this machine is pretty good. I've seen some snarkly comments talking about this is a bit toyish. But anyways, you know, it's $119 with a sequencer in it and firmware CC, you know. And I had some worries about it because, you know, for it to be control compliant or whatnot, and it having a small USB, I thought it was going to be a little bit of an issue. And I think it takes a micro USB, which is awkward. But also you can self power. It does not come with a 9-volt. CV outs, your modulation gate, pitch, sustain, sync out and in, and real 5-pin MIDI jacks. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Arturia, for that. However, there's a buggly part about this that will have you pissed off if you don't pay attention to it. But you know, it is set. I think it's set to internal, which means it's set to an internal clock, because this is the clock options right here. Right now, I have it on sync in because I was using the Kai Tomcat along with this. So I was using the clock from there, from the gate in and pulse, and that has its own issues of its own. That's separate from the Arturia Keystep, so don't worry about that. You can set it to USB, which would fit for your MIDI clock or whatnot, and your DAW if you want everything to be externally clocked from there, or MIDI clock, and you know, and that depends on what, you know, MIDI stuff that you're using, and that can be a bit of a mess. And I found that out the hard way. So don't find that out the hard way. So let's actually play with this thing, shall we? Now, and we'll do that right now. We're gonna use some outboard gear first, some hardware. So I'm gonna set everything to external. I actually got it. So you're gonna have to have some fingernails for this thing. And from there, we're gonna use CV. So we're gonna use this, and we're gonna plug it up this way. So as you can see, I have cords here. I have patching cords, patching cables here, and I'm going to put the one voice into the pitch because I wanted to control the pitch of it, because that's important to me. Then I'm going to take the gate from MIDI A and put it into the gate. So that way we can get a tone. As you see, it's firing off here. Now I'm probably going to have to figure some things out here because I don't hear any audio. Had a chord. So now that I have everything set up here, we're going to actually do some other stuff that's important to this. As I go to the Keystep, we got everything set up. Alright, so the first things first, once you have it internally clocked or whatnot, getting the arpeggiator to work, make sure that it's running. As you can see, I don't have it running, so it's not working. But the moment I set it to play, it's running. And then you have all kinds of different options that you can have and go crazy about. Of course, you got your regular alt up, down, you're up, then you're down, alt up, alt down, and etc. etc. Your those features. Let me set some other stuff here. You can set the speed, of course, and the rate. Which you have all kinds of different time divisions that you can work with along with the rate. So that's pretty cool that you're able to do stuff like that. However, the itch kicker for me was the features such as the sequencer. The sequencer itself obviously allows you to input your own keys in there, much like an arpeggiator, or however you want this to appear. And you know, from there it gets really nice and nasty here. So I'm gonna clear last because I had some other stuff in there, which you do by pressing Shift, and from pressing Shift and clear last, it doesn't have like a clear all, which, you know, could be a little pain in the butt. And I have I'm gonna go ahead and kill that real quick. Actually, I actually like that. I'm gonna go back to that. So I'm gonna enter some stuff. You can add rest and ties by doing shift and tap. So oh no, actually you don't have to do that. You just press tap and it will enter a rest. I don't know. I'm just experimenting real quick. And then all you do is just press stop after you're done. And of course I didn't do it correctly, but as you can see it's running. And from there you can do other things as well. Like you could do octave. Perhaps transpose. Okay, so I got it there. You press transpose while you're doing that. So as you can see, you get the point there is why how you set up the sequencer. There are some other cool features. One of the things I really do like about this is the fact that, let me borrow a cable. Borrow a cable from the Tomcat. And one of the other cool features that I really do like is the fact that you can tie in stuff to your pitch and your mod. So I'm gonna go and set up a modulation. I'm gonna go ahead and route the linear. So that's pretty cool. That works pretty much how I thought it would work. Then you could, of course, you could dial down whatever knob that you have on your modular synth. So right now we're gonna just see how this works with the Keystep at hand and the Tomcat as the master sync. So this is the external sync here. So is the boss of the speed. I can control the BPM from here, and I have the mother 32 and the make noise going on. I have a sequence here. I built a sequence here. It's a simple sequence. It's, I don't know. Yeah, don't judge me. Let's see, it stops there, so I can see. I'm gonna go ahead and start it again, and then adjust like the tempo and stuff. It works. Not the best sequence to be built there, but it works. Anyway, so I'm gonna go and try one more thing. I did notice that the driver crashed in FL Studio, so it's kind of weird. But it does work in FL Studio. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up FL real quick. See if I was to run it, I'm gonna go turn off the sequencer real quick. As you can see, I'm not receiving any MIDI notes at all in FL, but the driver is recognized there. It has a big fat F on it for fail. So I'm gonna go and check that out and see what I can do here, and see if I can just do whatever. So I unplugged it there, and I'm gonna replug it up to see if it'll recognize it. Arturia Keystep. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna have to turn this off for a sec. See, now I got audio, or not audio. Well, I do have audio from FL. It should be doubled because I'm not running the 2-track into the monitor. There we go. So there we go. So yeah, it's working as a MIDI controller as well. I don't know the natural functionality of if I can run. Yeah. See, I think the whole entire thing there is because I don't have it synced to the clock of FL right now. And that is important because if you don't have it synced to clock in FL Studio, which is the top part right here. Okay, so it is synced to FL, but I do have to adjust it to USB. So what I would do from there, adjusting it from USB, I would have to set it again. I can actually get rid of the sync now. That's the reason why I had this set up like this. And go and set it to USB mode, which is the quite difficult task. Now I should be using the clock from the DAW itself, and I'm presuming that probably would be the way you would do it in Ableton Live. So I got it running. That's funny business. So I'm not getting anything in terms of like the sequencing or anything of that. Though I have it routed the proper way. I have it routed through the USB. So that is kind of strange. So maybe I could turn it to internal. Run it. No. So oh, well, let me see. It sounded like it was doing it. Okay, so you have to set it to internal to get it to run it within FL Studio. So I'm going to go back to the DAW and we're going to see how it's doing. Whoa, that's actually cool. Cool. So stopping, pause, and play will automatically start it from the beginning again. So what will record do? So there's no record function in there. But I can, however, run the arpeggiator. So the proper way of doing it see, it's not synced to the DAW, so you would have to make some educated guesses. You have to make some educated guesses there to run the ARP. So I tried doing it the way it's supposed to be, guys. So let's see. Yeah, that kind of stinks. But yeah, other than that though, you still get your functionality out of it in terms of the FL Studio, in terms of like MIDI notes. But you won't get the functionality of pressing the record button or as such unless you set it up in the MIDI control center or whatever. And you could do that and sync it, and it should work. Probably it would. You know, I do have it synced that way. You know, I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird things about FL Studio. See, I'm getting green from there. I'm getting green from my pitch wheel or my pitch strip. And my mod strip, which that's normal for the mod strip, but the pitch strip is kind of an awkward thing. I'm still getting MIDI from the Korg Tactile. So yeah, that's basically about it. I really do like this. I do like the Arturia Keystep here. For the price of $119, man, you really can't beat that with a bat. So, you know, the price is really good. You know, there are some quirks about it that need to be worked out, but overall it's a very good system. I mean, again, the most affordable you can get, and especially if you're trying to jam out, I think it's really good for jamming out. Not as intuitive and quite, well, it's not as intuitive as other MIDI controllers, but you can get quite the work out of it by assigning and using the MIDI control center. It is also, you know, it is firmware updatable, so that means it's control compliant, even with the micro USB port that it has that goes to the Arturia Keystep into the USB there. You can pretty much run this independently if you have like a plug, a USB plug. You know, you don't necessarily need to use your laptop or anything of that. So, but you know, when you do, you get the functionality. Definitely knows it works with Ableton because everybody else is using Ableton. So it works in Windows 10, so that's good. So I think this is a pretty decent product for its price and for the convenience of it. Now, last things last, because I should have addressed it first, I do like the keys. A lot of people, some people don't like the keys and do like the keys. Man, I mess with keys of all kinds on different things. And I'm telling you, you know, these keys are just as good as those keys, better than these, and just as good as these right here that's on the Mother 32. So, you know, I've OP1, I got the M audio in the corner over here, the Oxium. I mess with a lot of keys, man. I got the keys. But anyways, I'm DJ McCree. Yes, it's actually pretty good. I'm glad I didn't jump to conclusions about it. I am out. Thank you so much, guys. You already know what time it is.
Traptendo.